to see is called The Outrun. This is part of our premiere section. And I'm curious, how many of you have seen the film System Crasher? No, a few. So this movie is available on Netflix. You should look it up. The filmmaker of today's film made this remarkable film, System Crasher, and I could not be more thrilled that we are able to show her latest film, The Outrun, which I think is a really stunning and poetic film. It is it's a story about the resilience of one young woman, and it features just a really complex and haunting lead performance by Saoirse Ronan. And we're thrilled that Saoirse is here for the third time. I just can't wait for you all to see this really special film. It is a quiet, metamorphic journey that I think is incredibly rewarding. And I want to introduce you to the director.
Well, this is a really exciting moment for me and for our team, for everybody involved. My first time at Sundance. In this moment, I'm deeply filled with gratitude in many ways. I have to say, this story is based on Amy Littrell's memoir. So it's a version of a story about her life, and I'm deeply grateful to, have gotten that trust to make a film about this. It's a massive responsibility. I feel grateful to be able to work with Saoirse Ronan, one of the most amazing actresses on this planet. I'm very grateful to the whole production team of supporting me, of doing this film with my baby. I had a little one on board with me on this journey, which took us, as you will see, to the end of the world. It is a story about recovery. It is an internal story, but it is also a story about a woman in a place. The place that you're going to see are the Orkney Islands. In case you don't know where that is, I didn't know it before. Although I don't live too far away, it's the northest part of Scotland. It's a group of 70 islands, and during the shoot we started in London, and then we went up and up and up into more remote places, and the team got smaller and smaller. And I think everybody on this team worked so hard. We grew together and we became a family, and we still are. So, thank you for being here, for watching the film. I can't wait to talk about it afterwards.
Thank you so much for sticking around, and please join me in welcoming back the director of the film, Nora Fingscheidt.
Thank you, and I wanted to ask on stage the lady who is at the core of this, who wrote the book, who spent 2 winters on Rose Cottage, Amy Littrell. And the amazing Saoirse Ronan, who carries it all. Our wonderful producers, Sarah Brocklehurst and Dominic Norris. Our amazing German co-producers, Jonas and Jakob Weidemann. And the one person who always had my back in this whole production, our co-producer, Sharon Hackman. And Jenny von Hagen from Weidemann Brothers as well, who made all the post-production possible in Germany. And we are re-recording, make sure it was at the very beginning, creating this sound concept, Gregor Bonze.
I want to congratulate all of you on this remarkable film. It is really special, and I'm going to open it up to the audience in a few minutes, but I just want to ask a couple of questions just to start things off. I know that I think maybe I first heard about the project because of Sarah, and you got quite involved early on, and Saoirse was also involved, and it just felt like this was a special project. It was a passion project between so many people. I'm wondering if you can start talking about that.
Gosh, okay. Well, I first read Amy's incredible book 8 years ago, and her writing is so poetic and so cinematic, and even though it's an incredibly difficult book to imagine as a film, I knew that the power of the place, the power of the healing would translate incredibly to a powerful, visionary, audio-visual film, and then bringing together the right team was the journey that we went on, and it all came together with Nora, with Saoirse, and Amy, who trusted us with all of this throughout that time. So yeah, so grateful.
Who do you want to speak next? No?
You.
Me? What do you want me to say? Yeah, sorry.
No, just in terms of how you got involved in this project, early on and as a producer.
Yes, so as Sarah said, she's been involved in the project for 8 years, and for myself, Dominic, and Jack Loudon, who couldn't be here. Jack is the reason why we got involved. He's a very, very proud Scotsman, and had ventured to the Orkney Islands probably about 6-7 years ago now. Completely fell in love with the place, and whenever he goes to a new place, he loves to read something from wherever he goes, and he had discovered The Outrun. And just to say, mainly for the Americans, there are so many people in the UK in particular who have used this book as a lifeline. It's become their Bible. And so we were very aware of the power and the gravity that this book had. And so when we were in lockdown and we were isolated and scared, and very much it was just the two of us, we delved into the book, and for different reasons it was personally something that we just really connected with, and so it became a very passionate adventure from the very beginning. Yeah.
Thank you. Nora and Amy, I know that you co-wrote the script. Can you talk about your creative collaboration?
So when I read the book, Amy's book, I already knew that Saoirse was attached to the project, so it was quite an amazing experience to read this, brutally honest book at the end of the world, sort of, while I was living in LA in the middle of this massive city, and it hit home so much, I really wanted to make that film, but I had no idea how to turn it into a film, into a screenplay, and I sort of pitched the vision that I said, we need to make this film really nerdy, it needs to capture this internal thing, Amy's internal thought processes, as much as we can in order to sort of capture what makes it so special. So first of all, they gave me space and I went into solitude with the book, and I color-coded every page in childhood, Orkney, London, sound level, folklore, facts about nature, and then I went through it again, and every bit that I wanted to be part of the film I put on card piles, and I spent days arranging them, And then when I had a sort of arrangement, I wrote a treatment. And that one I sent to Amy and everyone, of course. But from there on, we collaborated very closely.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote this book 10 years ago because I had to, but I never thought that it would get made into a film. But then filmmakers got interested, and I really liked the way that Sarah and Nora envisioned the film, and Nora's ideas for bringing different elements of the book into the process. And sometimes I'm able to talk about, it's been a long process, and sometimes I'm able to be quite detached from it and think of it as a writer, but after just seeing the film and everything that Nora's done, just the reality of it being my life comes back to me, and it's so multi-layered, and it's about place and community, it's about addiction, it's about mental illness, I've been sober for over 12 years now, and I'm here, but that was about this really intense time in my life, and it was back and forth, and when it was a real struggle, and when it was just raw, and I'm right back in that from watching it now, and it's just to give hope to anyone out there that change is possible, and new and unexpected things can happen, and thank you, and it's such a privilege for this my book to become this film that you see tonight, and thank you everyone on the team here.
That's sometimes very close, and if that is a reflection of this inner world that we're entering. Yes, absolutely. I mean, basically, we knew that we had to, intertwine all those layers, and we wanted Orky at the beginning to be sort of grey and dull and boring and hard to deal with, and her memories of London to become vivid and colourful, and then slowly, as the film progresses, it sort of changes, and London becomes distorted and weird, and color fades, whereas Barney on the poppy starts opening up, and it's also the messiness in her head. The first hour is really, you're all over the place, and then the second hour the film calms down, so does the camera. And yeah, this could go on for hours, and it is, and then we have the nerd layer who's just, Amy's brain. It's just anarchy, it's just what it wants. It's like archive footage, documentary, animation, that is how thought processes are, which is so beautiful. Yeah. And yes, because you asked about this earlier, we needed the film to be very physical, because alcoholism is a sort of physical self-destruction that you do day by day to your body and to your brain and to every cell. And you can smell it, and it enters and exits your body. And so also the healing process, we needed to be as physical as possible, and therefore, close-ups of, skin and bones and vomit and whatever. What else? Question over here?
What about the use of the color with her hair and her nails? There was so much, some close-ups of her varying fingernail colors and obviously her varying hair colors. Did that have any representation?
It's part of Amy's story. I mean, if you look at her Instagram or Facebook from back then, there are mermaid hair colors and red, and I think you wrote in your book that one time you were in London and with red eyebrows. You tried that and it didn't work out. So we said, okay, let's use this part of Amy, translate it into Rona's character, and help us also a little bit, to sort of follow through the story. I mean, it is quite a, you're all brave, you say, it is quite a film to watch, because, it doesn't go like this, it goes like this and back and forth. So the hair colors do help a little bit, but also sort of the orange at the end, representing sort of this extreme, ecstatic London life from the beginning, which she then finds again in sobriety. Yeah. And looks so beautiful in front of the blue sea. Yeah.
Saoirse, can you talk about what you were drawing on to bring the just extraordinary range of emotions and energy in a really full-body way, particularly when you were alone on screen.
Did everyone hear that? Or do I need to repeat it? Just that, well, it's quite awkward actually. It was just basically saying there's such a range of emotion throughout the whole thing, and how was that? It was, I mean, I think it was such a gift for me to walk into a role where there's kind of no rules, you know, because barriers completely break down when you're that inebriated and under the influence. Your judgment is so clouded that you, even if you're not addicted to alcohol, the worst side of us can come out sometimes, or the best can, you know, there's so much colour within that. So I think sort of like acknowledging that, and then also being able to break into that in other parts of the story too, it just gave me this freedom to go everywhere with it. And I was so lucky that Nora sort of a lot of the time took a step back and just went like, just go, just see what happens, you know. I've been saying a lot that I think that this is a role that I mentally wouldn't have been able to take on even say 2 years ago. There's a lot of ugliness that comes out in the character, and she's quite unlikable, she's quite mean at certain points. And really wonderful and funny and kind at others. So to be, well, I think so anyway. So to be able to just have access to all of that colour is a complete joy as an actor, you know.
I'm so sorry, but we're out of time. But I want to thank you all for bringing this beautiful.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.